Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another installment of Tech Support Thursday. Yes, I am aware that it is Friday. Sorry, the work week got away from me. It was a short week, too. It was, last weekend was 4th of July weekend. I had Monday off. So, of course, I threw my schedule off. It's alright. I'm sure you guys won't be too upset. In recent news, I took and passed the VMware NSXT data center exam on Friday, so it's been a week since I've passed, and because I'm recording this on a Friday. And the exam was pretty interesting. I did put a video out on it and kind of laid out my, how I passed and, some of the things that I used to pass with. I got a lot of questions on that. And mostly was like, what did you use? And I'm gonna put some stuff in the comment or in the in this video, and I think I did in the other video. I'll have to go double check. But I was able to successfully pass the exam. So, woohoo! Beyond that, the next step in my game plan, obviously, would be to take the design exam for NSX. For the VCAP design. I am still working on reading through the reference design guide and the security design guide for NSXT. And the thing with these exams, especially when you get into the advanced professional, you're looking at more architecture than you are tactical implementation. So I'm not really looking to run through the reference design guides and stuff like that and hurry up and get to the exam just to pass it. I'm slowing down just a little bit, and for the simple reason of if you go too quickly, you might miss something. So I'm slowing down, being a little bit more methodical on how I approach, especially more advanced exams. So at the same point in time, I have been reading through. I have a Safari O'Reilly account. And I have been reading through the Mastering VMware Horizon 7.7. It's a little bit older, but it's talking about VDI. VDI has always fascinated me. So it's the third pillar of the VMware solution platform that I've wanted to learn. I've got data center virtualization down. I know that pretty well. I've got NSXT pretty good. Obviously still working on becoming better at that. And now VDI with desktop mobility. Providing remote desktop solutions and virtual desktops. That's the type of stuff that I'm learning right now. And the main reason for that is no matter what situation I walk into with VMware, I want to make sure that I'm confident and comfortable working in any environment that I walk into. So that's the main driver. Now, long-term look at my professional growth is going to eventually get the design exam for NSXT, knocked out for VCAP, take the VCP for Horizon, which I'm not sure if I'm going to take the VCP before I take the VCAP. Doesn't really make much of a difference. Then it'll be the VCAP design for desktop. Eventually I'll take the deploy exams for all three of them. Once I'm waiting for NSXT to come out, I talked to a few people, and it's not really worth the effort to do 6.2 on the NSXV implementation for deploy. But then there's also the deploy for desktop, so I'm playing around with that as well. So eventually I want to be a triple VCIX, data center, NSX, and then desktop. That is a long-term goal. Then the goal is to switch gears and be a knock out AWS, the cloud practitioner, then solutions associate, solutions professional, network and security specializations. Those are the areas that I want to dive into. Then it'll be Azure, then it'll be Google Cloud. Once I've knocked all that, and I'm thinking it's probably going to be a year or two before I get to all that, then I'm thinking at some point in that flow, maybe CCDE, and then after that, maybe another CCIE. But I don't know. There's really no hard and fast rule that I have to follow. It's more or less, hey, Sometimes it'll be job related. Hey, I need you to go learn this or learn that or get good at that. Other times it's what interests me. So, with that being said, I did get a lot of congratulations from the NSXT data center exam passing, so I appreciate all the complimentary feedback that came with that. I will do my best to put the resources that I used to learn NSXT in the description of this video as well. So that's that. So let's see here. There's a comment left on CCNP version 2 route 300-101 VPN GRE tunneling OSPF over GRE. The comment states, incredibly difficult to follow without a visual network diagram, etc. How are we supposed to know what IP addresses are what and where? Overcomplicated video because all of the BGP stuff as well. The video is titled OSPF over GRE. Why involve BGP? So I don't know this person that commented. I don't know their background, and it's been such a long time since I watched that video. There is a network diagram. It's literally in the I get to see actually I can probably show you what I see. I see this. There is an actual I see a screenshot or a thumbnail of the video. So there's a diagram right there. And if I remember correctly, there's actually IP addresses on the diagram. But that series was recorded a long time ago. I can't even remember when I did that. But probably because there was some underlying BGP that needed to be put into play. I really can't give you a specific answer to that one. Sorry it was hard for you to follow, but I'm suspecting, based off of your comment, and this is just an assumption here, it could be dead wrong, but I'm not afraid to be straight up here. Seems to me like there's a lack of understanding, or you haven't gotten far enough yet to understand what's going on. There are often times where I will intentionally make things complicated because that's what the real world is going to be. Nothing in the real world is cookie cutter. Nothing in the real world is going to be out of the gate easy. Oftentimes I walk in and I'm like, why are they doing this? Who does this? If you read the book or read the documentation, people tell you not to do that. But guess what? A lot of what you're going to read in the books and on the videos is going to be best practice, because best practice is easy to implement. Best practice doesn't work everywhere. So, am I going to apologize because it was complicated? No, not at all. Because the intention of CCNP is to take you out of the... I'm probably going to make some people mad, but the babysitter style CCNA, where you're walk through stuff, because you really don't know a lot when you're studying for CCNA. I like to associate CCNP as you're going to take the training wheels off. You're not going to use floaties or those arm things that go around your arm when you're in the pool, and you're not going to wear sunscreen when you're outside. You're taking some risks when you start diving into CCNP, or you're diving in deeper into the technology. You want to be a higher level engineer. So these are all things that you're going to have to get used to when you become a higher level engineer. Stuff that I had to learn on the fly when I was in production. I should say, I still am in production. But you know what? It's a learning experience. Things are going to suck. You're not going to understand everything the first time you go through it. Maybe it's going to seem overcomplicated. If you have any intention of going after CCIE, welcome to the club. They make CCIE overcomplicated on purpose. But, it is what it is. So, I did not respond to that comment because to me, the comment was left in frustration, which is fine. But one thing that I'm not a big fan of is when I'm pissed off about something, I'm usually riding off of an emotion, and I don't think that's a good way to interact with somebody is emotionally. Whether it's you're pissed off about something that happened to you, or you screwed something up and it didn't go as you planned, or you've got some sort of other thing going on, like, for example, you have a foreign substance in your body, like alcohol or something else, that is causing your faculties to not be all there. So I typically don't try to engage people when they're not being 100% rational. So if you continue to have problems, I will respond to the comment via chat, because not everybody knows about Tech Support Thursday. But hopefully you figured it out. If not, see what I can do to help you. Palo Alto Networks PC NSA passed. How long does it take? It really depends on where you're coming from. I come from a networking background, so to me it wasn't that bad. It was pretty straightforward. It took a few weeks to watch the videos, read the documentation, and stuff like that. But having the hands-on experience was helpful, because then I had the clickety-click stuff, and that always comes into play. It took me about a month and a half, I think, maybe 2 months to study for it, and that was while studying other stuff. But it depends on you. Some more, let's see. Congrats for our quick question. By any chance, do you have any video that explains how to mapping, drawing, logical network, kind of complex networks? Thanks. I do, and there are some videos on that I've done where it's design specific. I'm actually going to be coming out with some stuff here in the near future that is not design specific, where we talk about why you would do a particular thing. It's more of a I will be following like Cisco validated designs and Cisco best practice, but I will also be bringing into play, hey, if you run into this situation, this might be used. Can you do it? Yes, you can. Here are the caveats. But design work comes with a huge asterisk next to it, where when you're dealing with design and architecture, there will be times where you'll have to be more technical than architect. And what I mean by that is it's going to be really hard to design something if you don't know how something technically works. So to me, you learn how OSPF, BGP, EIGRP, DMBP, and IPsec work, right? You learn the main pillars of the CCIE route switch track. You learn them, and then you can go into an organization, and when they start asking you questions about resiliency, redundancy, migration, next steps to future-proof their network, you're not guessing at how BGP is going to work. You know how BGP is going to work, so you're able to give them a more specific answer. So to me, you have to be technical before you can be an architect. You can't be an architect before you're technical, because you're going to be talking at high levels, and if somebody like me is in the room and I ask you a specific question, how you would do that, because depending on how it gets implemented might change the direction we go. So things like that will come into play. Nexus 9000V, VXLAN 19, EVPN, multi-site overview. Hi Rob, any more videos for VXLAN playlist? Many thanks. No, not as of right now, there's not. That's a pretty beefy platform to work with, so I covered everything that I needed to, so probably not. Let's talk about Palo Alto, source NAT for internet access. Palo Alto Firewall is so much easier to understand NATing than using a Cisco with those ACLs when explaining it to someone. PA Firewall is so straightforward. Once you learn the basics, it's really easy to scale it up to what you want to do. I agree with that to a certain extent, because in Palo Alto you still have to allow the firewall to pass the traffic, right? You still have to have an access list or an access control in place to allow traffic from 10.1.1.0/24 to go out to anything on the internet. That still has to be there. You're actually tying it to something that you don't have to tie in ASA. You have to tie it to a VR, virtual router. You don't have to do that in ASA. If you want to especially if you're working on something newer code on ASA, it's very, very simple. You create an object, object network, give it a name. For example, let's say it's the HR subnet, and you give it the range of IP addresses that it's going to use. Let's say it's a subnet, 172.16.00/24. Well, you've already defined your name if statements for inside and outside, right? So at that point in time, it's just a matter of saying NAT inside-outside dynamic interface. Boom. Problem solved. NAT on the ASA from the inside to the outside is easy because you are following a high to low traffic flow. So to me, in that respect, with source NAT for internet access, or SNAT as it's referred to, is actually easier on Cisco than it is on Palo. Now, if you're using the default VR, not that big of a deal, but you still need to create a NAT entry, and then you still need to allow it through the firewall. So, to me, it's an extra step in Palo, but depending on how you want to look at it, to me it's easier on ASA. But that's just my take. A couple more comments. A lot of people are asking about what it is that I use to prepare. So I will be putting all the links in that video as well as this one, just because people seem to, it's easier for a lot of people to just ask for, hey, what did you use, versus doing a little bit of research. There are, and this might actually piss some people off or be like, hey, you're making fun of me. But at the end of the day, it's reality. There are a lot of lazy people out there, and they don't want to spend any time doing any research. They just want to go onto YouTube, watch a couple videos, and have someone like myself tell them about it. Because reading is work. I guess it is what it is, but, in this industry, you're going to have to read. You may not I hate reading. I really do. But guess what? It's par for the course. Let's see here. So Palo Alto Network Site to Site VPN. I read that you need proxy ID set when doing cross-vendor. I don't remember having to set a proxy ID, but then again, you never know. SD-WAN 3, VPN's overview, and SD-WAN controller setup. Hey Rob, I cannot download root cert chain from CA server. What is the problem? Okay, so this guy commented in a couple of different videos, and the answer to your question is, you have given me no information with that question. Literally nothing. What is the problem? The hell if I know. And I'm actually going to be a little rough with this person because they've commented a couple times and accused me of not giving a crap, which I'm honestly not a big fan of being told that, because if I didn't care, I wouldn't post on YouTube. But you don't put any information into what you're asking for. You're just giving me a one-liner. Hey, this isn't working. Seriously? And I did comment back. I was like, hey, if you need help, give me some, what have you done to troubleshoot it, if anything? Nothing. So, I don't know. I don't know why it's not working for you. I don't know what your lab is set up like. If it's mimicking mine, it should just work if you set up all the routing correctly. Let's see here. Sorry, that's work is pinging me because of some new projects coming my way. Yay! Another question about tech support Thursday, ticket 15. Hi Rob, can you please add SP topology and basic config to a Google Drive? I will try. That stuff is long gone, so the likelihood of me actually having it, I'd have to actually probably just recreate it. It would be easier for you just to watch the video and try to build it on your own, to be honest with you. Not that I don't want to put the time in, but that takes a couple of hours to build a topology and basic config. Welcome to labbing. There's other things that are right now that I've got working on that are at a higher priority level than satisfying a couple of requests when it comes to providing a topology file and basic config files. Honestly, I don't really have the time for it. NSX V13 ECMP or equal cost multipath on ESGs and a DLR. Rob, just wanted to tell you, you make great content. Thank you. Security Mac access list and ports. So this particular video, I was kind of an idiot, and I put myself in front of the CLI. I don't know why I did that, but I did. Here are the commands used in the video. It's basic Mac ACL. So that's that. Same videos before. VPN overview and SD-WAN controller setup. And hey Rob, why do you not reply our comments? This is the third time that I want to ask a question that I cannot download the root cert chain via TFTP from root CA, and you don't even care about our comments. I responded with, I care, but you're just expecting me to know how to fix it. I have no idea how your lab is set up. Have you tried to troubleshoot it? If so, what did you do? I left that 8 hours ago. So, but that goes back to my comment a moment ago. Don't expect me to be able to just troubleshoot your issues on the fly. If I had rack rentals and you were using the rack rental and I knew exactly how that was set up and you were using something that I built, I should be able to help you troubleshoot it. But since I have no idea what you built, maybe you're mimicking it exactly, but maybe you missed a step. Maybe you typed something in wrong. Maybe it's a software bug and something was working and that is no longer. You have to be able to troubleshoot things. If you're going to work in the IT industry, you're going to run into problems that are just going to be like, really? Really? And you're going to have to deal with them. That's the nature of this industry. That's the nature of the beast. So with that being said, sorry you're running into problems, but there's other people that have gone through and dealt with issues very similar to this, and they've figured it out because they've done some engineering research and they figured out other opportunities to make that happen. So that's my best advice for you would be to put some effort into trying to troubleshoot it. Don't just come to me. That's one of my biggest pet peeves is when people will just automatically assume that I'm going to be able to answer their question out of the gate. And sometimes I can, but if you're troubleshooting something and maybe you did download the topology file that I created or put up in online for you to download through the membership, even with that being said, it doesn't replace the fact that you might have to do some troubleshooting. Because I have had people reach out to me in the very recent past and say, hey, I'm a YouTube subscriber. I'm also a member. So I'm running into this problem at work and I need you to try to help. I need you to fix it for me. And I'm like, wait, what? And it's funny when I get emails like that because they're expecting me to be like, because they're paying me a nominal $10 a month, that I'm going to be able to provide them troubleshooting support. That doesn't happen. I don't do that. And I completely ignored the email. I'm like, nope, I don't do that. It's like, if you can't be, if you want to work in this industry, there are going to be times where you're going to struggle and you're going to have to put some time and effort into stuff. So, hey, guess what? I'm sorry you're dealing with the problem. If I can help you, I will. But don't just expect me to jump when you ask for help, because there's a lot of you and only one of me. So, with that being said, I don't have anything else really to cover other than what I've done. You guys have an awesome weekend. I'm sorry this is a day late, but you know what? That's okay. So, I will see everybody next time on the next Tech Support Thursday. You guys stay safe out there. Enjoy your summer. Try to enjoy your work week. And keep your chin up. Take it easy, guys.